Conviction Beyond Certainty. Written by Mohammed R. Kaur, Ph.D. An Ascension. AI Systems Production. Introduction. There are moments in life when logic is no longer enough. Not because it has failed, but because it has reached its limit. You can gather information, evaluate options, and seek clarity, but eventually you arrive at a point where none of it resolves the uncertainty in front of you. The path forward is no longer defined by what you know, but by what you are willing to stand on when knowing is no longer available. That is where conviction begins. This is not a book about certainty. It is not a book about having all the answers, building a perfect plan, or avoiding failure through better thinking. It is not a memoir, even though it draws from lived experience. And it is not a traditional self-help book, offering step-by-step frameworks or prescriptions for success. It is something different. This book is about how a way of thinking is formed, tested, and ultimately sustained. Not in controlled conditions, but in the unpredictability of real life. It explores the development of an internal system that allows a person to act with discipline, adapt when necessary, and continue forward even when the outcome is uncertain. The focus is not on what to do in a specific situation, but on how to think and operate across situations that cannot be fully predicted or controlled. The chapters are not arranged as a linear progression, but as perspectives that collectively reveal how a system is formed over time. They are structured to reveal how different parts of that system were shaped over time, through influence, through deliberate choice, through moments of failure, and through experiences that cannot always be explained. Each chapter stands on its own, but together they form a deeper understanding that emerges over time. Some of what you will read may feel familiar, while other parts may not align immediately with your own experience or beliefs. That is expected. This book does not attempt to persuade or convince. It presents a way of seeing and a way of operating, and leaves space for the reader to interpret, question, and apply what resonates. There is also an intentional boundary in what is shared. Not every detail of a life needs to be made public for meaning to be conveyed. What matters is not the completeness of the story, but the clarity of the insight. The focus here is not on events themselves, but on what they reveal and how they shape the way a person thinks and acts. Conviction is often misunderstood as confidence or certainty. It is neither. Conviction does not require full understanding, and it does not wait for perfect conditions. It does not depend on external validation, nor does it announce itself loudly. It is quieter than that, and more persistent. It is what remains when certainty is no longer available, and it is what allows you to move forward anyway. About the author. Mohammed R. Kaur, Ph.D., is a systems thinker, inventor, and technology leader whose work has shaped large-scale communications infrastructure and modern intelligent systems. His contributions span telecommunications and financial systems, including foundational work that helped enable modern online banking, as well as emerging applications in digital health. He holds more than 100 granted patents. Over the course of his career, he has operated at the intersection of research, engineering, and execution, translating complex ideas into systems that function reliably under real-world constraints and at scale. His work has consistently focused on transformational innovation in complex, data-intensive environments. He was inducted as a Bell Labs Fellow, the highest honor conferred by Bell Labs, in recognition of sustained innovation and impact. Bell Labs is widely regarded as one of the most influential research organizations in the history of modern communications and computing. He was the first, and remains the only, scientist of Pakistani origin to receive this distinction. His work is defined not only by technical achievement, but also by a disciplined approach to thinking, decision-making, and operating under uncertainty. The ideas explored in this book emerge from lived experience across both professional and personal challenges, where clarity was often incomplete and outcomes uncertain. Conviction, Beyond Certainty is his first book. Alongside his work in the telecommunications industry, he is the founder of Ascension AI Systems, an independent AI and technology think tank, publishing, and media initiative focused on long-form intellectual exploration, human-centered technology, and reflective storytelling. Closing reflection. By the time you reach this point, the question is no longer what these ideas are. It is whether they hold when they are no longer theoretical. Life does not present itself in structured insights or clearly defined lessons. It unfolds without warning, often without clarity, and almost never with certainty. In those moments, knowledge informs and experience shapes, but neither is sufficient. What remains is how you choose to move forward. Not because the outcome is guaranteed, not because the path is fully visible, but because something within you has been built, tested, and reinforced to the point where action no longer depends on certainty. That is conviction. It is not loud. It is not declared. It does not require validation. It exists quietly, alongside doubt and uncertainty, and yet it continues to move forward. Over time, I came to understand that clarity is rarely complete in the moment decisions are made. Meaning often emerges afterward, through the accumulation of consequences, reflection, and time. Yet despite that uncertainty, life continues to demand movement. Not perfect understanding, not guaranteed outcomes, only the willingness to act with integrity when certainty is unavailable. That is conviction, beyond certainty.